Okay, the objective for this class is to physically show the movement of electrons when metals react with non-metals to form ionic compounds. Students have already looked at ionic bonding visually and they've had worksheets, but this activity is going to help them physically show what happens actually when metals bond to non-metals. There is quite a large space here that the students will be able to move around. And each student is going to have either a metal, like for instance I am lithium, or they will have a non-metal, which you will see in a second, which is chlorine. So the students would be spread out around the room and they would have to find, if a person is a metal, they would have to ensure that they find somebody who is a non-metal, and they would have a little negative sign to represent the electrons. So as the students move around the room, they would have to look for an element that they would actually bond with. So I am lithium and I've found that I can actually bond with chlorine. And what they've discovered in ionic bonding is that metals like to lose electrons, non-metals like to gain. So whenever I lose my electron, I give it to the non-metal and I become I'm not an atom anymore, I become a positive ion. And here, the non-metal, its name changes very slightly from chlorine to chloride. And as you can see, this is now a chloride ion, which is negatively charged. Once the students have done this 2 or 3 times with different metals and non-metals, and once they've got exactly what happens down correctly in their head, what can actually happen is then they can be called to come up in pairs, and they can actually present to the class using this presentation rubric that they have already invented themselves, and this will be the assessment. Modifications for this, as you can see, there's plenty of space. If there is anybody that does have a wheelchair, they can take part in this activity. There is a Spanish version of the presentation rubric for ENL students, and that's it.